Greetings, everyone, to all my family and fans. This your boy Chief Mouche in the building, and I basically wanted to step up to the plate and just kind of like give y'all a look insight on how everything started and how this music thing was established with me. And so let's go there. So y'all, it all started way back in Chicago, Illinois, which is just my birth state. You dig what I'm saying? Shouts out to Chicago, Illinois, South Side, the low end, Ida Beware Projects, 37 in South Langley. You dig what I'm saying? RIP to y'all because the projects are now torn down. But guess what? That's where it all started with me. So I had two uncles in the family that was heavy musicians. My mama, two youngest brothers. RIP to Gregory Mouche, my Uncle Reg. Man, shouts out to you too, bro. You the one taught me how to play that bass guitar and that lead guitar at the age of 6, man. So, shouts out to you, bro. It all started way back in Chicago. Like I said, I was raised in a household with musicians. My two uncles, my mama, two youngest brothers. So basically, I was able to meet celebrities at a very young age, right? My Uncle Greg, he was Curtis Mayfield percussionist. So all those congas and bongas you heard in all of Curtis Mayfield music, when he first reigned out, that was my Uncle Greg, that was my mama brother. And so we do our thing in the Windy City. And to those that's in Chicago that's tuning in, y'all already know what it's hitting for. Y'all already know how we do things in the basement. So basement, we got basements in Chicago. Basements are separated from the actual living headquarters, which is still can be considered as a living headquarters, is what you make of it. So my people's made they thing into a music section. They literally turned the basement into a studio. You dig? So, man, my Uncle Greg, who was Curtis Mayfield's percussionist, he bought me my first piano and my first drum set, real drum set, at the age of 5. He was preparing me at a very young age, man. And so I got on those drums, doing my thing a little bit, you know what I'm saying, here and there, and playing little notes with the piano, right? And then my mama's youngest brother, Reg, he came through with the lead guitar. I never forget this. I was only 5 years old at the time. So I never forget, he gave me my first lead guitar. And then at the time I turned the age of, I was like maybe 6.5 years old, I was able to actually play the bass too. He bought me a brand new bass guitar. I've been around musicians, man. I was able to meet Prince at a young age before he blew up. You know what I'm saying? Him and my Uncle Reg was like that. Actually, my Uncle Reg actually became a part of the new generation when Prince formed the group, right? So my uncle was a part of that movement. And Curtis Mayfield, everything that you hear from Little Child Went Around, I'm Your Pusher, and just so many other hits that he created, those congas and bongas, that percussionist that you hear in the background, that's my Uncle Greg, man. So I was able to meet Curtis Mayfield at a young age. Actually was able to sit on some of these cats' lap. You dig what I'm saying? I was able to even meet a few cats from Earth, Wind and Fire. Shouts out to Earth, Wind and Fire. And I was just in the music. I was around some major celebrities way back then, man. So as I got older, now the original plan was to get off into the music biz at a very young age, like kind of like the Jacksons and how they was doing their thing, and a few other young artists that was on and popping that started in the music biz very young, and yet as the time went on, they was able to be successful. So I was supposed to be in that era right there. It just so happened, Uncle Greg, which I call him more as my dad because he was more like a dad to me. So it took place with him and my mother. Still don't know to this day. Both of them went to the graveyard with it. So I still don't know to this day what happened, but it was a conflict and interest that took place to where we ended up separating from my uncle. And that's when I was taken away from the music to where I could pursue my career at a very young age. But originally it was designed for me to be a musician, to play the bass, the lead, to play the drums, you dig what I'm saying? The piano, I was destined to do this at a young age, as far as being in the music business. I didn't know it was gonna turn out and lead and go down the avenue of hip hop. So, like I said, so the separation with me and my uncle, that landed us, it separated us, man. So, we stuck in the projects. So to make a long story short though, man, it's just like once that was taken away from me, when my uncle separated from us, it was like um, we ended up moving down to Louisiana. And shouts out to my origins, man. 'Cause a lot of people don't know who I am. I'm an Indian. I'm an American Indian. I don't consider myself as a black Afro-American. I'm one of the indigenous people. I'm descended from a tribe of people that's actually anchored in Louisiana history. So shouts out to all the Mouches and all to the Mouche connectors, to the Jacob family and everybody else that's connected to the Mouche. That's Indians that we rep our tribe. As the time went on, so like I was explaining to y'all, I end up traveling down the avenue of the hip hop field. So that's where it all started at, from the origins of being around musicians at a very young age. Rest in peace to Curtis Mayfield. I can remember some of the game he gave me as a little shorty. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on this guy's lap. And so, yeah, man, I've been around it, bro. So y'all know now. So this ain't nothing really new to me. So I had uncles that nurtured me and gave me the game. That's why I never really signed with a major record label, because I was there to like invest that knowledge into me. And I'll never forget, shouts out to my cousin Mouche. He gave me a book about the whole music industry. I never forget, he brought that and I got that in the mail, and I was like, man, he was like, cuz, suck this game up. And which I was already knowledgeable to some things based upon what my uncle taught me. So when he sent me that book, I was like, okay. And so it's like the knowledge that you have, it's gonna draw lines with how you conduct business, right? So that's what it was with me. So I could have signed with a couple of major record labels way back then. And to those that don't know, yeah, I'm a conscious spitter. I originally started this thing off in conscious and on a conscious field. When I did pick up the microphone, and then I always been playing behind the scenes, making tracks for other underground artists. So this is my first time actually stepping into the mainstream of things, in a public format to where the public can hear me on a whole different note. That's what it is. So now y'all know that this ain't new to me. I've been around music all my life since a short age. So this is how music had been started in my life. Started back in Chicago, Illinois, and now I'm back in Baton Rouge. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much raised in Baton Rouge, you dig? And yeah, man, so it's just like now, I can't let the talent go. What if I become successful with it or not? I have a heart for it. It was just placed into the back burner for numerous reasons. I had a lot of obstacles in my life growing up, you know what I'm saying, which caused me to not perfect that gift. So now I'm at a standpoint in life to where, I'm in a position to do some things on a music tip. So I just decided to pick it back up at the beginning of this year. And now, I'm seeing the results of it, and I still got some things to do. I got, right now I'm a one-man army to a degree, you know what I'm saying? But I am making preparations. I know people are tuned in to me. Even got some major people tuned in to me. Not saying I'm gonna sign a record label deal, because I'd rather be on my own than y'all pimp my gift. I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna say that for the public. So to the major people that's acknowledging this video, please don't come at me sideways, with all due respect. I understand it's business, but on the same token, come at me correct. That's all I'm saying. You dig what I'm saying? This is not a threat. This is just me standing on business, because at the beginning, at the end, on the day, it's about business. You dig? So guess what? Man, I got a lot of heat that's coming to y'all. I've been giving y'all some snippets, some sneak peeks of some future releases, and y'all tune in to that. I have music streaming on Spotify and all the major music platforms. So feel free to tune in to Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, all the major platforms that music can be sold and downloaded on. I'm on there. Check me out, Chief Mouche. Shouts out to all my fans. I salute y'all. Stay tuned for more, because I got more to come. Peace.
critics think we can't dream like Martin Luther King, because we like to get high while pulling high schemes. I know we're from the ghetto, labeled as the lower class, so y'all label us as some old dirty filthy trash. But within our minds we got big visions too, even though we like to slide bustin' with them tools. This for black people in the struggle, that's in the same boat. Shouts out to the ones that smoking perk trying to cope.